Hey, sanibonani nonke. Sanibonani nonke bakwethu. How are you? I'm fine. Uh Again it's Vusi Mhlaba. Eh in our last analysis of phase 5 of the employment relationship in history in our country. Now we have analyzed, and I believe if you have listened to my videos, and I'm still appealing you to invite other people to listen and subscribe to my YouTube account. If it's possible, one day I will be successful that we will have live indaba on labor and education, because to me, in my view, education is linked to labor. So we have now concluded in our last analysis that in National Party worked for white people, maintain their white supremacy. They delivered what their voters and constituents wanted. As we have said that the Mine Workers Union took a decision to say, to solve our problem or their problem, the only thing that that will assist them is to remove the party that was in power, led by Malan, and then they put the National Party. So we've concluded. Now we are going to the sixth phase of our history. What characterized the sixth phase of our employment relationship history? Remember that we said in 1948, it showed that politics is inextricably linked to employment relations system, because even to you, if you read that, you say it's true, because workers showed that they had power, because they were able to remove the government that was intending not to deliver their interest and put the government that is. And I said we want to compare, because we have different phases. But let's start with the sixth phase. After February 2, when F.W. de Klerk announced the unbanning of the left extremist parties. And now I want to take note, I want to flag this. The parties that were known at that time, or that were there, were banned, was ANC, PAC, SACP. They were banned. So immediately when the FUW de Klerk announced the unbanning of these organizations, and remember, these organizations, they were like not existing, because we were operating underground as if we are not existing. And that thing caused that you could not at that time differentiate who is PAC, who is ANC, because we were working underground. Others were out of the country, others were inside the country. Things were happening. So when these parties were unbanned, first thing that they did, because uh, firstly, all the unions that were there came together. They formed a federation called the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU. And there were other federations that were formed there, but I want to talk about this one. Then they formed the alliance with COSATU, ANC, and SACP. So, what were their roles? ANC was a liberating movement or a liberation movement. COSATU, organization of workers, people who are employed. SACP, the South African Communist Party, is the organization of all people, everybody, those who are employed and those who are looking for employment and those who are not looking for employment. That's why it was a vanguard, it was called the vanguard of the working class. So these parties, they came together because decision was taken that let us put the African National Congress into power. Let us take the African National Congress to government, to govern our country, believing that, because at that time, we believing that they are going to implement our mandate, they are going to look after our inspirations, interests, and our welfare as black people who's been suffering from 1948 to 1993. We've been suffering, suffocated by these whites in our country. If you include 1652, you can see how many years we've been suffocated. If you include the years of colonization, where our people were taken for slavery duties, you can see how long we have been suffered. So the decision of the alliance, and that is why at that time it was called a tripartite alliance, because there were three parts. And then later they were joined by SANCO, the South African Civic Organization. So now they became four in the alliance. So the alliance, their duty is to ensure that every time ANC wins election, governs this country, with the belief that ANC will take care of the interest of the employees. SACP, ANC will ensure that the aspirations of the working class are met. SANCO, because it deals with service delivery, our areas of resident services will be improved. At that time, we were looking upon the white-dominated areas, as I have quoted from Black Agenda. How was the areas of white compared to ours? The comparison were given by Frantz Fanon. So then, comrade, that is our sixth phase now, which is considered as an interim transition or government, because it's between those period of 1990 to 1993 where there were talks of in terms of Codesa and Codesa 1 and Codesa 2, but I won't go to that one because it's leading to say why the money that we are getting, either by having smaller business, selling your peanuts or whatever, but the power of money is eroding every day. So that's where I'm driving to. And that's why in the last presentation, I ended up asking the question that did National Party use agencies to deliver? Did National Party have the NASFAS? Did it have SASA? And now pension fund agencies, labor brokers? Did it have that thing? So if they didn't, but they carried the mandate of their constituents to the fullest. So we're going to check our seventh phase now, which is 94 to date. Whether, because eventually in 1994, April 27, we managed to put the African National Congress into power. We managed. And at that time, we had 2/3 majority and more than 2/3. But now we're going to check, did ANC or has ANC delivered the mandate of its constituents and voters, including myself? So we're going to deal with that one now, because I will not go to details of section of seventh phase, but we are going to look at the current thing where you are. We are going to look at what is it that ANC has done. What if we are saying no, our lives have not changed, but in this case, I want us to measure it with the power of money we are having in our hand, because at the end of the day, the last thing we need is money, and money must give you self-esteem. How to get a self-esteem? By having basic needs. And I'm saying we will refer to Maslow hierarchy. You see, so that is sixth phase. We had an alliance. In 1994, April 27, we managed to put the African National Party as a government in South Africa. So we did the same, exactly what the White Union, Mine Workers Union did. They put the National Party into government. And we said, National Party delivered. Now, we did the same. We ended up able to identify a party that we perceived it to be able to fulfill our aspirations. And then there's another question, comrade, because at that time, because it's clear why PAC did not take part, did not join alliance. And remember, PAC broke away from ANC because of item number 1 in the Freedom Chart, in particular, to say, no, you can't say the land belongs to all who live in it. The land is for black South Africans, if it's a South African. So let's just close this there. But it's a subject of another day to check our consciousnesses, black people. Why in Parliament PAC is not the second biggest organization, even if it's an opposition. Why it is a democratic alliance, the party of white racists, oppressors, land thieves. They are second to to our democracy, if it's a democracy, but it's for another day. But today, let's conclude in that fashion, that now we are going to look at the seventh phase, which started in April 27, 1994, to date. If is ANC as a governing party delivered the mandate of our people? So we need to segment it so that you cannot analyze it if you analyze it blanketly. You need to segment it, as I said in one presentation, that let us use the National Development Plan. We will look at education, look at health, look at what, so that the overall will tell us if indeed they are delivering. So I thank you for today, comrades. We are going to deal with the last phase of phase 7. Then after that, we'll get directly to financial matters. Now we look at specific. So that's why I thank you today. I hope you keep on following. Please invite others, and then follow me in YouTube. It's Vusi Mhlaba, and please subscribe. Because right now, with an organization called South African Natives, umsinsi wokuyimilela, I'm tasked to develop documents that umsinsi wokuyimilela will convene a seminar to discuss things. So we'll start with education, and then in closing, we need to say what we want, what type of education we want, what we want about education, and therefore it will also tell us. That is what will tell you what type of people you want in parliament. You see, you talk about programs first, what you want, and then there's only time you can decide who can deliver this mandate. So I thank you, my comrade. Thank you, my South Africans. I love you.